Grab your pen and your paper or your journal. It's really better to write it, and then if you want to go back and like type it up and make it pretty, but it's good the first time that you get it out to physically write it out. With your pink pen. Kidding. Okay, so everybody good to go? Got pen, paper, excited, happy? Everybody's holidays were good. Christmas was fabulous. Went by in a blink. I'm not gonna lie to you, I took all my Christmas down today.
That's bad luck. You better put that back up. That is bad luck.
Listen, it's only bad luck if you believe it's bad luck, number one. Number two, when you're living in a rent house the size of a shoebox with toddlers and toys, you get a free pass, okay? Okay, just so we're clear. Don't be putting that bad oho on me.
I'm just saying, I personally have my decorations still out. Okay, guys. So what we want to talk about tonight is obviously it's December 30th. We have one more day left of 2018. And I know that everyone is like looking ahead to 2019. Like, what do we want to achieve? What can we say goodbye to in 2018? What are we pushing for in 2019? So that's what we want to talk about today, is how to set some effective goals. Because I'll be quite honest, I have been a victim to setting these big, lofty goals. I will even write it down. I will put it on a vision board. And then that's pretty much where it goes to die, quite honestly. I don't really have any action steps, and I don't know how to get there. And I think that's a big gap of like, here's where I want to be. Here's where I am. How do I merge the two? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to actually set goals that you will meet, because it doesn't really make a difference to set a goal or create this beautiful vision board if you're not moving any step closer and a year goes by and you're in the exact same spot. Okay. So let me go ahead and just share the screen, because y'all know I love a good presentation. You know I love it. I can't help myself. I need slides. But basically what we want to talk about is what our main goal for 2019 is, to really make things simple and actionable. Jessica and I have talked about this, and we are very good about giving pep talks and inspiration and pumping you up. And that lasts for about 2.5 minutes until you get off the call. But what we want to give you is specific action items that you can take, you can implement, and you can see success with. But with that said, you have to know this. Just like in our fitness, I think about 80-day obsession. It was 80 days long. We had to show up and do the workouts. We had to follow the meal plan. We had to drink our Shakeology every single day for 80 days in order to get the results of that 80 days, right? We couldn't show up after 10 and be like, why am I not sculpted yet, right? It's been 10 full days. I've been following it. Why isn't there? You have to show up and do the work consistently over time, knowing that the rewards are going to be down the road. So just like that mindset that we take in our health and fitness is such a great parallel to what we do in our business. We have to show up and do the work, knowing what I do today, I most likely won't reap the rewards till later on. And you have to be okay knowing that. But I can tell you that can be super frustrating when you're like, I'm pushing, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. I don't feel like my business is moving forward. I'm stagnant. I feel stuck. I'm frustrated. And we take our foot off the gas pedal. But really, all the behind the scenes work, we're laying the groundwork. So don't quit before you get to reap the rewards. Because I see that a lot in the business, is that people kind of back off, and it's like a push and a pull and a push and a pull, and you never build that momentum. So that's kind of what we want to just touch on before we get going on what this looks like today. So first things first. We want to have us all quickly just reflect on 2019. Don't worry if you can't see these. We will post it after the call too. But I wanted to give us let's just say 5 minutes to go through these questions. Again, you can scribble, you can make notes. They don't have to be beautiful, written out things. You can go back later and really take time to think this through. I encourage you to. But I also know that for a lot of us, if we don't just start right now, it's just not going to happen. I'm huge on that. Like, if I don't just get something out, it's not going to happen. So let me quickly go over the questions for you. What did I achieve in 2018 and why did I achieve it? So look at your 2018. What did you achieve? You had goals. I'm sure we've achieved some goal. I don't know what that is like for you. Again, I'm thinking business here. You can take it to life too, life, business goals. But again, what did you achieve and why? Why did that happen for you? On the flip side, what did I not achieve in 2018 and why did I not achieve it? Sometimes this is harder to take that inner reflection and be like, well, why didn't I? But really, if you kind of dig a little deeper, we kind of know the reasons. If you had a goal for 2018 and here we sit December 30th and it doesn't look like it's going to pan out, in our deepness, we kind of know why that is, right? So just get it out. No judgment. Just here's the goal that I wanted. I didn't achieve it and here's why. What did I do well in 2018? Like, what do you feel like, man, I feel really good about this. When I can look back on 2018, I feel really proud of myself for this. What was that? How did I grow this year? Sometimes growth can come from both beautiful things in which you're gaining momentum and you're having success and you're growing. And sometimes, most often, growth can come from lessons or things that maybe were a little bit harder for us or came harder. We had to kind of work through some stuff. Maybe we got uncomfortable. Maybe we were challenged. We came up against, obstacles. But how did you grow from that? I'm sure we've all had some growth in some way, shape, or form in 2018. How did you grow? Again, just jot down some notes. It doesn't have to be full sentences. You can come back and really answer these thoroughly. But for now, here's one that really honestly is a kicker for me. And that is number 5. Did my actions in 2018 match the goals I had for myself? Why or why not? One of the things that I have written on my desk right here, it's kind of like my, what I had like some small goals for 2018. And one of the things that I asked myself is, do my actions align with my vision? And there's a lot of things on here that I had planned to achieve for 2018 that I didn't. And I can honestly say that my actions did not match the goals I set. Straight up, I know that. I'm going to be honest with myself. And I got to be like, well, why? What was it? What was holding me back? What kept me from really taking the action I needed to take? And then what did I learn in 2018 that will benefit me in the new year? I truly believe that, we have our wins, we have our losses, but a loss only stays a loss if we don't learn from it. If you can see what didn't go well, what goals you didn't hit, what actions you didn't take that align with your goals, and what's the lesson? What can I take with me from that to take into 2019? Then that loss really becomes a win in my book. If you can learn from what went wrong, what you could do better, it goes better from there. So again, I'm just going to give us like a couple more minutes. You can kind of look at it and just answer these quickly on your paper, and then we'll move on. All right. So again, you can always come back to this. We will post these questions in the call recording afterwards, so you can come to it. But again, just taking some time to reflect on 2018. What did I do well? What can I improve upon? What are the lessons? I think that's super, super important. Okay, Jess.
Okay, so you guys know I love a good brain dump. I think a lot of the times what holds us back from being successful in our business is that we get so caught up in our to-do list and thinking about what we should do and how to perfect it. And I'm really going to take off my coaching business when this happens, or when I get all these ducks in a row, or when I get this project done at my other job, I'm going to dive in over here. And we just get so much stuck up in our head that we never move forward with what we actually want to accomplish.
Sorry.
So on your paper, draw a grid with 4 spots so that you can just kind of brain dump and just kind of get it out, the top things that come to your mind when you think, okay, in 2019, the big things that I really want to accomplish for myself in my personal life, in my business, and in my physical and financially, what do you want to accomplish? Like, what are those big things? You know, Haley, I'm sure you probably want to have a baby in 2019. Maybe you put that on there. Either that or you're going to have the oldest baby ever. But everything that's kind of in your head and you've kind of been thinking about, this is a naturally super reflective time of year. And that's a good thing, but you've got to get it out and let it go and release it. So then you can start to strategize and really put together, okay, what actions do I actually have to take to bring these to fruition? Because it's one thing to say, I want to be elite this time next year on Team VIP. And it's a very different thing to say, now how am I going to make that happen? But first you have to get it out and really figure out, what is it that I want? There's of everything out there in the universe right now, what do I want to accomplish in these 4 areas for 2019? And don't overthink it. And know too that you may have 2019, and when you reflect back on 2018 and you kind of think about these 4 areas, you're not ever needing to be perfectly balanced in all 4 categories. So 2019 may be a very heavily focused year for you in the area of finances. Maybe you want to pay off debt, you want to grow your income, you want to become more financially stable, and you're really putting the majority of your energy into financial. Maybe it's business. Maybe you are hell-bent on 2019. You are going to take this business seriously and you are going to take some massive action and see massive growth. The other 3 areas may feel a little more lopsided. Don't ever feel like they need to be perfectly balanced in order for you to feel good and successful, because that's also what sets us up for failure, is we feel like we're putting too much energy or too much time into one area. But just figure out what season you're going to be in for this year and then own it and go get it. Okay, next slide.
Okay, so here is another one that's, again, we're kind of moving through this quickly because we want to keep this call to 30 minutes. But this is so huge, and this is something that I want you to really take some time after this, maybe type it up, maybe make it look pretty, because it's something we're going to want you to read every single day. So creating a 2019 vision. So what is the word you'll live by in 2019? Some people think this is cheesy. Some people think it's cliche, but I think that there's a lot of power if you can think of the word that's going to embody how you'll live in 2019, as just a reminder of like what it is, like what is it that you're living by? Just one simple word that you can think of and it can conjure up some emotion for you. What kind of impact do you want to make next year? What I love most about this business is that our income is always a direct reflection on the impact we're having on others. If you're not helping others get healthy and fit, and if you're not helping others build a successful business, your income will show that. And I know a lot of us got in here to want to help people. But the beautiful thing about that is the more people we help, the more our income grows too. It's like this beautiful, symbolic relationship that works. What do you want to celebrate? I love a good reason to celebrate. I'll be honest, sometimes I don't celebrate as often as I should. It's like, oh, on to the next. But what is it, something that you really want to celebrate in life? And they can be simple, small things. It doesn't have to be crazy big. My husband's birthday is coming up, and I really want to celebrate in a big way for him. So I'm writing that on my list. I have some really big goals that I want our team to accomplish. I'm going to write those down. So don't hold back. What do you want to celebrate this upcoming year? And don't, think, oh, that could never happen. Just let yourself be like, yes, I'm excited to celebrate that. What will you cross off your vision board this year? We're going to talk a little bit about vision boards in just a little bit. I think that they're great. I think that they're well-meaning, but if you're not moving closer to crossing things off your vision board, it just stays as like a pretty Pinterest pic, right? So what are you going to? You've decided this is happening this year no matter what. We'll reverse engineer it in just a minute, but really think about what is it that I'm wanting to do. What is the story about 2019 you'll tell your family in the future? I love this. When you think back about 2019, what is that story you're going to tell your family? I'm sure different years carry different emotions with it. I know I have certain years that were like, oh my God, that was such an amazing year. And I have other years that were like, man, that was a really hard year. But as we sit December 30th, let's move forward in a year, December 30th, 2019, what is it that you're going to look back and tell your family about, wow, this year, what this year was all about? And why will this year be different? Because I think we all have these grand, lofty goals of oh, it's a fresh start. The clock ticks from 2018 and boom, now it's 2019. It's all going to be different. I'm going to be different this year. It's going to change. But why? Why will this year be different? What specifically will be different about it? Is it you? Is it your environment? What about this year is going to make it be different, right? And then the best part about this job, I think, that I love most is that we're in this together. We have our team, we have our big team, we have individual teams, but as a whole, we're a big team. What do you want your team to accomplish? I truly believe success in life comes when you bring other people with you. When you can see other people having great success in your business, honestly, that's been the greatest highs in this business. I've accomplished things, I've had low lows, I've had high highs, but when I see team members on our team doing big things, man, that gives me chills. That is what lights me up. So what do you want your team to accomplish in 2019 that you can celebrate? And again, go through this, think about this. This is something that you'll want to spend a little bit more time on, but this is something too that we want you to read out loud every single morning. Because let's be real, sometimes we feel like a hamster on that spinning wheel. Certain days it's I'm just going through the motions of life, but sometimes we can forget why we started and what our goals are. But if you can read this every single day and keep that vision in the forefront of your mind, that's what's going to make you keep going when, quite honestly, I want to be binging Game of Thrones with my husband on the couch right now, right? I've been up since 4 a.m. and I'm on this team call right now because I have this vision that's pushing me forward. So when life gets hard or you're just not feeling it or you're in a funk, because they all happen, if you can go back to this vision, this is what's going to give you life and motivate you to keep going when it would be much easier to take your foot off the gas pedal or kind of just do a fade out. So that's kind of the big key. We're going to talk more about how to break down this vision, but I really, if you do nothing else, spend time doing this, print it out, type it up, put it on pretty stationery, and vow to yourself you will read it every single morning in 2019 and just watch how your life changes. Guaranteed. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is something that's going to take a little bit more time. So we're going to go to the next part so that we can kind of get to the meat and potatoes of it. Okay, Jess.
We have 10 minutes. Don't worry, team. We will totally make it. We are almost to the end. So here's where like the meat and potatoes, like she said, like this is what's important. It is great to cast a vision. It is great to type it out. It is great to get all those butterflies and that excitement and that like, holy guacamole, I can do this and I know I have what it takes. But then here comes the truth. You have to actually take action every day. You can't just show up when it's convenient. You have to know, okay, if this is my goal by the end of 2019, how do I back it back up? And if you have not read the 12-week year, you totally should. But it's really about breaking apart and piecing your goals into bite-sized chunks that are super specific so that you can tangibly see you're moving forward towards your goal. It's just like when we talk about Success Club. You start the beginning of the month and you're like, here I come, Success Club, I'm coming at you. And then you do nothing all month long. And then here comes the 30th of the month and you're panicking and you're trying to make up that lost ground for the 29 days that you did nothing. And you're freaking out and you're stressed and it's not fun and you feel frustrated and you no longer love your job as a coach. Because you set this vision, you casted this goal, and then you just let life get in the way, and then all of a sudden you're reaching the end of that deadline for that goal and you haven't done the work. This is going to prevent that from happening. So at the end of 2019, you're going to have already seen that vision is coming to fruition every single day a little bit more. So pick 3 goals that you want to focus on for quarter 1. The only rule is that they have to align with your overall vision. So if you have an overall vision of making X amount of dollars in this business for 2019, break that into 4 and figure out how much you need to make in quarter 1 in order to bring that vision to life by the end of 2019. So if you have a goal of making $50K in 2019, divide that by 4. You need to pull that in quarter 1 in order to be on track. And that way you're not just throwing some weird number out into the universe. You're really giving it a purpose and you're really saying, okay, that means in quarter 1, this is what I'm doing. Maybe you just want to say, I'm going to pay off $2,000 in credit card debt, or I'm going to pay off $500 in credit card debt. And you're going to see how this really breaks down, like micro breaks down, but it's super helpful. And that's why you have to be this specific. There's something called the Road to Elite. We will go further into detail about that on something separate within Team VIP so that you have all the information on that. But basically, it's setting up roadblocks along the way to the year so that by the end of 2019, you would end the year as an elite coach. So they're really aligning the elite program this year. They've changed it every year for the last 3 or 4 years, but they're trying to really align what being an elite team means. And so they're trying to closely align it with the leadership ladder, which is the leadership ladder, which we really hope they start paying more attention to because it really shows who you are and where you are in your business, goes up in rungs. And if you haven't spent time learning on that, we can give you information. I don't want to go into it here, but the example that you see having a team builder finished on Road to Elite is part of that. So you having that piece of becoming an elite coach knocked out. Save $2,000 in your savings account. Move $100 every week over into a savings account. Spend $50 on somebody randomly. Spend $50 celebrating a date night. It can be super small. It can be super big. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's specific and it aligns with your overall vision. So top 3 goals, and then we're going to break down how you reverse engineer it even further.
Okay, so hopefully you can see this. This is an example. Again, this example goal was to pay off $2,000 in credit card debt. That sounds great. That sounds awesome. But like how, right? We want to have a game plan of what that looks like. So this person broke it down. She's going to pay off $2,000, not $2,500 on a Bank of America card. January 4th, she knows she's going to make a payment of this much. January 17th, $100. It lays it all out, a plan. And again, in the first quarter, between January and the end of March, what is the plan to do this? The cool thing about this is, like, let's say January 4th comes around and maybe you don't have that $300 allocated like you thought you did. And you're like, dang, okay. So then you have an idea of like, okay, so then on January 17th, I somehow need to make up that, right? You can track yourself along the way. I think that's what's important with these checkpoints is that, am I moving closer to my goal or am I not, right? Because I also think what's great is it's 3 months. As human beings, or maybe just as myself, I work best on a fast approaching deadline. If you give me all year to do something, guess what? I'm going to wait until December to kick it into gear. I hate that about myself, but it's just the way it is. But if I have a goal between January and March, there's not a whole lot of time for me to like I have plenty of time to do it. I only have 3 months, so I have to keep focused in on what that goal is, which is why these 12-week goals work really, really well. So that's the first example. The second example is what we just talked about, is the business example, the team builder. You want to have that complete on the road to elite. Team builder, again, don't stress out about this. It's an emerald, 1,000 team volume. You're a diamond for 6 weeks and 25 leadership points. Don't stress about this. What I want you to really take note of is the action plan. Okay, so I know, I'm going to have to get an emerald. I need to advance 2 emeralds in my account. Who am I going to work with? I can think of 2 coaches right now, Gabby and Amanda. They're really pushing. I'm going to help them hit emeralds. I'm also going to add 3 to 5 new coaches to the team per month. Now, I know we've all said this before. I know I have told Jessica, I'm going to add 10 new coaches to my team this month. And then I don't have a plan for making that happen. I just hope that it happens, right? So here's, again, it gets super specific. How am I going to do that? I'm going to send 30 invites at least 5 days a week, and 2 of those have to be coaching, okay? That is something that I can control, right? If I know that I'm inviting people 30 invites a day for 5 days a week, I'm pretty sure out of that I can get 3 to 5 new coaches. But just to say, hey, I want to have 3 to 5 new coaches, but no action plan to get there, that's just going to be frustrating because you're not going to hit it. You don't know why. So really having that concrete plan. And then helping at least 1 coach become a success starter, meaning they hit Success Club in their first 3 months of business. Boom, 25 elite points. Same thing with leadership points. Again, don't stress about this. All I want you to know is that it is broken down specifically. This is where your upline coach comes to help you. If you're like, hey, I have this goal, but I don't even know how to reverse engineer it, set up a call with your upline coach, and I guarantee they can help you break down whatever your goal is. Let's reverse engineer it to very specific, actionable steps that you can take monthly, weekly, and daily in order to make that happen. Okay, so that's really what we want you to see, is the big goal and then really breaking that down. And then the same thing too, this is kind of again with it, how do you hit this goal of hitting Team Builder by then? These are just like minute details, but really want you to see that that's what it takes to hit these goals. Okay.
Okay, so once you've created your vision, now you have your 3 goals and you've broken down how specifically what your plan of action is. Once a week, actually check in on yourself. And so the best thing to do is before the team call happens, set yourself up at 8 o'clock or 8:30, or do it right after the team call at 9:30 so that it's consistent every week. Because what will happen, because we have done this, I have done this, you set the goals, you set the plan, I'm going to invite 50 people a day, I'm going to invite 10 people a day, 5 people a day, whatever the case is, and then 4 weeks go by and you've done nothing. And then you feel like you're too far behind, and then you just give up, and then you wait for the next goal starting session to try again. But this way, you're checking in every week. Who cares if you had a bad week? Maybe on that 1 week, you were totally distracted, something happened, you give yourself a score of a 1. You scoring yourself on a 1 to 10 score. And journal about it. Why did I do it? Did I self-sabotage? Did I spend more time thinking about what I should be doing instead of acting? I know for me, 100% of the time, I think about what I should be doing in my business more than the time it would take me to actually just get it done. Scrolling through social media, thinking about, oh, I should be doing this, but instead I'm just going to sit here and fly through my phone, but I'm not actually accomplishing anything in my business. So this will really make you break down every week and look back and say, did I show up the way that I intended to? If the action that I did last week, is that going to get me to my Q1 goal by the end of March? Because if you really break it down in those short quarter forms, I mean, Q1 will be over in a hot minute. Like, they go by in a blink. It will be 2 seconds and we will be back here on this call at the end of 2019 talking about 2020, because it truly goes that fast and you've got to really pay attention to be ready for it. I also really recommend, if you don't have an accountability partner, get one. We talk about, success partners, and we talk about kind of figuring that out, but things change and people change and goals change. If you don't have someone right now on Team VIP or within anybody else in the organization of Beachbody that aligns with your goals and your pace and your vision, find that person. Reach out to your upline and say, hey, I need help finding that person if you don't know where to start. But find that person who's going to push you. And we are going to talk a little bit more about kind of a bigger scale of that at the end of the call. But Raquel and I talk about this all the time. If we did not have each other when we started 4 years ago, there's no way we would have stuck it out. There's just no way. Because we were always, one of us was always up and one of us was always down. Somebody is carrying the other one while the other one is struggling. And that's always how we've run the business, but that is necessary to say, hey, you're not showing up. You're not going to hit your goal. Hey, you didn't do this, or hey, we need to do this, or hey, here's a fresh idea. Somebody will always pull the other one, and together you will be better and stronger. If you're trying to do this on your own, it's just going to be so much harder. You need somebody who you can talk to every day, text back and forth, and really focus on and say, hey, did you do what you said you were going to do? Sending 30 invites or whatever the case might be. You've got to have somebody who will be willing to call you out and you to do the same thing for them. And not just call each other out, but also celebrate each other and say, hey, you're a badass. Like, that post was incredible. Or, hey, I love the invite you've been using. It's been working so great for my people. Just sharing each other's strategies makes a huge difference.
Okay, and then the last thing we want to talk about, honestly, y'all, I love a good vision board. I love a good vision board. If you've never made one, I highly recommend you can go to Canva or PicMonkey, which are free online programs, find pictures off the internet and make it happen. But what we really want to take away from this is what's really called a Vaction board. Not as catchy as vision board, but it's vision plus action. Because you can put the shiny car on there, you can put the dream house on there, you can put the Hawaiian vacation, but if you don't have a plan like we just went through of the quarterly actions, the monthly actions, the weekly, and the daily, it'll just stay on this beautiful vision board, and that's where it will stay, right? But the goal of a vision board is to really put into your focus what it is you want to achieve. This is an example of a vision board right here of a Beachbody coach and what her goals are for this year. But really do that. I love sharing vision boards, and I will tell you, one of my very first vision boards that I made as a new coach, I think it was like my first time ever, so many of those things have come true, right? Things that were like, I put them on there being like, ooh, I don't know about this, but wouldn't it be cool if, right? Wouldn't it be cool if I could make this business provide this for me? Wouldn't it be cool if I didn't have to work a 40-hour-a-week job and I could be at home and more present with my kids and their activities? Wouldn't that be cool, right? But again, I back that up with daily consistent action. It has come true, but because I showed up consistently. So that's kind of what we want to show you. Make these vision boards. I think there's so much power in seeing that daily and reading that vision and really having that concrete plan of how you're going to achieve those things. And share these with us. I love seeing vision boards. So when you make yours, I would love for you to post it in Team VIP Family so we can see it, we can cheer you on, and also hold you accountable to, sometimes when you put it out there, it's like, okay, it's out there in the universe. Time to go to work and make it happen. Okay, Jess, so we're wrapping up. I promise this is our last slide.
Okay, so we talked about doing getting an accountability partner. And in the past, we have done some. So as you know, throughout 2018, we shifted Team VIP Family to being more of a generic, just a community page where we do shout outs and information blasts and team call blasts, but not really putting too much about business strategy or trainings or going too deep into that page, because we really want that to be a place that's for community and energy and excitement. But we've done in the past where we try to do business builder pages that were like VIP Diamonds. We've done an Emeralds page. But what we really care about is having a group of people that are trying to build a business, work together to become better together. Rank doesn't really matter when you're talking about income. It doesn't go hand in hand. So that doesn't really make sense to kind of to separate it that way. So we just want to do one big generic group, not a generic group, one big accountability group for Team VIP, and the only requirement is that you're building a business. The only way that we'll gauge that requirement is through Success Club, because if you're not helping 3 new people every month, you're not really building a business. It's more of a hobby for you at that point, which is okay. We are not here to tell you whether or not you are building a business or running a hobby, but I will tell you from just a factual state, you are not going to be able to successfully build a business without helping at least 3 new people every single month, probably more than that if you're really trying to grow an income and a business. So to become in the group, you just have to hit Success Club or help 3 people every month. In order to get into the group, which will be starting in January, you just have to answer these 3 questions and send them to your upline. So what is your vote for our new Business Builder page name? Because it's your page just as much as it is ours. Sometimes we feel like we are just always naming everything and doing everything, and we want you to know this is your team too. So what do you want to be called? What do you want to call it? What's your vote for the team name? And then why do you want to be a part of this group? Is it because you want to learn? Is it because you feel like you have something to contribute? Is it because you want to be held accountable? What is it that makes you want to be part of the group? And then send your top 3 Q1 goals that we talked about a couple of slides ago and your action steps, because goals without action mean diddly dot. Send those to your upline coach and they will be able to plug you in to this group. They'll have that link starting on January 1st. So if you want this business to pay like a business, you're going to have to work it like a business. You've got to respect it like a business. You've got to prioritize it like a business. I know that most of us start this coaching business with another business or another job that we're already working. Most of us are working full-time while building this, or we're staying at home with our kids full-time while building this. Most of us have a full-time commitment of some kind while building this. That does not prevent you from building a successful business, but it will certainly get in your way if you let it. If you don't make this business a priority and treat it like a business and show up for it every single day and make yourself take action every single day, 2019 is going to fly by just as fast as 2018. And if you don't feel confident and comfortable with the way you ended 2018, I know I don't. I wanted to be so much further along at the end of 2018, but I know I can look back at my actions and was I consistent in the ways that I needed to be. And I know why I'm where I am at the end of this year, and I'm excited to take action and change that. I spent a lot of 2018 trying to perfect everything. We made a lot of elaborate trainings and a lot of wonderful to-dos, and we spent a lot of time creating things that did not move our businesses forward. And we're really going to focus in 2019 on keeping it simple and just taking action. Because just like through the holidays, when you eat like shit and you drink too much and you're feeling blah and bloated and like a sloth, you know how that feels. That's the same thing. When you don't work your business and you don't do the things that you know it takes to move your business forward, you feel blah and your confidence is low. And that comes across when you start to try to invite all of a sudden on the 29th of the month and you're panicking because you didn't hit Success Club, but you said you were going to hit Success Club. But the energy and the excitement and the high vibes that come when you just start doing what you know you're supposed to be doing every single day and it starts to catch up with you, that is the best feeling ever, but it won't get there unless you start putting one foot in front of the other. So I'm super excited. I hope that this was helpful and not like a whole overwhelming craziness, because we can do that sometimes. But we can jump out of this screen. We'll take a group Boomy. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns? Did this help?
I'm going to take that silence as a firm yes.
I don't know about the
I'm excited about our new Business Builder page because you're going to get to see behind the scenes of what we do in the business. Like what my daily actions are, what messages I'm sending. Like we are in the trenches with you. I say in the trenches like that's a bad thing, but we are building a business alongside of you. So if you are someone who has big goals for this, you're going to be right there with us. If you have a coach, maybe an upline coach that's not super active in building the business, that's okay. We want you to be a part of us. I think sometimes you see leaders that have been in our team for a while and you think, oh, that's like kind of for them and not me. But that's not what we want this to be about. Our team was founded on having that like family culture. And I want us to, as we've grown, it's sometimes hard to, create that. So that's really what we want for people who are building a business, who are going to be in there doing it with us. That's what it's going to be all about. So Those last 3 questions, make sure to send your upline coach if you want to be a part of that. And if that's not your gig and you don't want to be a part of it, that's cool too. But I know that there are a lot of us in here that are pushing for big goals, and we're here to tell you it's totally possible. And we're going to show you exactly step by step what it takes to get there. Cool. All right. So let's take a picture for social media if you want one.
Boom me up, boom me up. Mm, mm, mm.
So if you don't show your face, can you show your face now?
Oh, there's one. There's Christina. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Okay, awesome, guys. I hope you have a great night tonight, a fabulous New Year's Eve, and let's get ready to rock 2019. Good night.
Night, night, night.